heart attack. Fast, fatal, hard impact. Past painful scars, in fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact, don't ask, grab reactions, jacked, attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new submerged juice. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember you're discreet now, get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty, hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do continue, let us give a brief little review. Now, in the last part we had Izuku and Katsuki. These two have found themselves stuck in a very strange world. There are cowboys and monsters, and they're outlaws. They have been sentenced to 30 years in this world, and currently, they've lived through 5 of it. Izuku, he's become very famous. He used to be part of a group of outlaws, and he was tricked and manipulated into doing things, since it's the only way he could have survived without being a loner on his own. Since, if he stays in one place for too long, somebody tries to take a shot at him. And if he stays in the forest for too long, the monsters try to attack him. Now, Deku, he knows quite a bit of things from his experiences within these 5 years. So does Katsuki. And she was most recently injured whenever Deku and her were both in this world. And right now, she's in a small little village learning a bit more things about the forest. Since the people who live there, they know what they're doing. And they know how to stay safe from the monsters inside the forest. Now, there actually was Izumi and Bakugo. These two were posing as a couple, and they were investigating an SCP. One that is not official or on the SCP wiki. I made it up. And this SCP appears to be a trickster, since it's been increasing in intensity with pranks in a small town. Now, with that being said, we'll currently pick up with Izumi and Bakugo. These two, they've called in a task force. And the task force, yeah. From their time staying here and posing as civilians, they've been trying to observe and grab this entity, bag and tag. However, it isn't working. Any time they try to take on this entity, it seems to be aggressive. It won't harm you, but if you are harmed during a prank, it doesn't seem to be intentional. So far the data suggest this entity, it's doing this because it finds it entertaining. There's no other reason. And the task force, yeah. They have been suffering from psychological warfare, and some of them have actually suffered physical injuries. Along with Izumi and Bakugo, who, their latest mission to try and bag this entity hasn't gone too well. As currently we do have Bakugo, who he is running through an alleyway, and he is hot on its tail. The fox actually running through the alley, as it is going to directly jump and get its paws onto a wall, before jumping out to another building and hopping off the side of it. As Bakugo does see that he actually is going to follow. Him actually running up and leaping upwards into the air. Him being able to grab onto the wall and start scaling with his bare hands. And he actually is talking through a headset. He currently is in pursuit. He's scaling a building. And if anyone can have eyes in the sky then right now, that would be preferable. You have it? Nope, it's too fast. Really? It's clever. Besides, can't really run through the streets. Right. Now, Izumi, she actually is waiting, as she actually does have a gun directly in her hands. And she is about to lead this thing into a trap. It's like this. They're going to try and get it open. Then Izumi, she'll take a shot at it, and Bakugo, he'll hit it with a tranquilizer. And hopefully this thing will go down. Now, we do actually have with the fox, it's on top of the buildings, running through the top of them, as Bakugo, he is going to get over and chase after it. And they do go about 3 or 4 buildings down, before the fox does go to leap directly off the side of the building and stick to the wall. And Bakugo, he actually is going to leap directly down and see the fox, him flying directly over it and going down towards the ground. As whenever he does try and prepare his body to land, there actually is where he does smash into the ground, and the ground, it just acts like a bouncy ball. He goes down and into it before just leaping back upwards into the air. Bakugo, confused, as there actually is where he does slam into a spider web. And the entity, it does just sit there. It's walking around on the wall as Bakugo does go to quickly turn his head. Him going to try and pull his hand free. As whenever he does so, he finds it to be tough. It's like you just set him onto a fly trap. This shit, it's too fucking sticky. Now, Bakugo does just stare directly at the entity, as it does get someone to laugh like a fox. Before Bakugo, he does just say that he is currently, well, incapacitated. Are you okay? Okay, agents, move in. Currently going to Bakugo's location. Try and corner the entity and see what you can do with it. It's on the side of a building like a spider. Is it? Yeah, and I'm stuck in a giant web. Okay, clearly this thing is a lot more tricky than we thought. It might be a reality bender. Are you serious? I don't know. The floor turned into rubber. And then I'm in a spider web. You tell me. Okay, I'll come get you down. Just, don't go anywhere. Oh, no, don't worry about it. I'm not going to move an inch. Now, the fox, it would get away. And there actually is, after Bakugo, he does get cut down, where he actually is a bit annoyed, since that was the 3rd time tonight they found it and tried to chase it. And only now has it showed off its powers. 2 task forces earlier today tried to corner this thing, and some of them, yeah, their guns either turned into confetti or they jammed. So, there's clearly something off. Since at first they thought the anomalous effects was that it could just change around things, pull pranks, and do things that just don't make sense. So clearly there's more to this entity than they first believed. Now, it does somewhat cause some concern. This thing's a mischievous fox, and it is clearly dangerous. Now, we do actually have where Bakugo and Izumi, they're sitting down at a bar. And Bakugo, he is still somewhat pissed. I don't get it. This thing, it's been increasing in weird shit. Bakugo, calm down. Besides, we can't talk about it here. I know. It's bugging me. I get that. That's okay. We'll catch it. Right. Now, Bakugo, he actually is going to see the bartender who does get to sit down sitting in front of him, telling him, order up. And Bakugo, he does get to reach down and grab onto the burger, and take a bite out of it. It is pretty good, along with some of the fries that he does have with him. And Izumi, she actually see that, asking if that's good. Oh yeah. I mean, this makes the day a little bit better. Alright, well, I'll be right back, okay? Alright. Now, Izumi should look to stand, since she does have to use the restroom for a minute. Her doing so and making a call to a supervisor, expressing to them what's going on. She explains to somebody that the entity, it is increasing in, well, strangeness, and is actually starting to pose more and more of a threat, if not, well, threat and or exposure of abnormality to the public, since I believe that's the best way you can phrase that. Now, Izumi would finish her call shortly afterwards, and some people at the Foundation, they are going to try and put things in perspective, see what they can do here. Since there might need to be an order for a reality anchor in the area to take this thing down. Since they'll flip the switch of that thing, and this thing is basically just an animal. Now, that actually is where Bakugo, he's still at the bar, and Izumi and Shizuka walking out of the bathroom. Her actually seeing somebody sitting down next to Bakugo. She didn't really think too much about it. However, there was just one problem. Actually, there was two. The lady, she was in her seat, and she was also eating her food. Now, Izumi, she actually has come walking over. As she does so, Bakugo, he actually going to turn and see her. The woman actually going to try and catch Bakugo's attention once again. So anyways, you're from out of town. How's that? Sorry. Again, like I said, this is my wife here. Oh, you're on a trip with your wife? Yes. And, well, I'm happily married. Oh, that's alright. Well, I mean, just look at her. Excuse me? Oh, sorry, sweetheart. Besides, he could do better. Okay, well, here's what you're gonna do. I'm not in a good mood today. Get out of my seat and replace my food. Really? You really want to go there, sweetheart? Because I know what I'm doing. You're just so precious. Now, I'll leave, but I'm not gonna order you shit. Alright? Well then. It looks like I might have to be a bit more physically aggressive then. Get the fuck out of this bar. Otherwise, you're going to go to the hospital with a bit more than just a few bruises. Alright, sweetheart? Now, the lady does going to stand up. And whenever she actually is going to try and throw a punch at Izumi, she is going to directly grab onto her arm and, with her other hand, punch directly upwards and sever it. She does pop her arm directly out of the joint. And the lady, she is just going to somewhat scream and grab at her arm. As Izumi, she actually is then going to bring up her other hand and directly punch her across the face, and she's going to fall onto the ground. Now, Bakugo, he does get to see that. And a few other people in the bar, they just saw that display. As there actually is where Izumi just going to sit back down, asking the person if they can, well, replace their order and at least put it on that lady's tab. The person just directly looking at Izumi before going to look down towards the other lady, as they do see her familiar clothing. Oh, sorry about that. No worries. However, someone had to teach her some manners. Alright, we'll get that right away. We apologize for that. She's, well, she's been through a lot. I don't really care. Right. We'll get to your order. Now, Bakugo, he does go someone tell Izumi that that was actually pretty crazy. You think so? Yeah. I mean, damn. I didn't expect that. Well, sometimes you gotta know when to shut your mouth, and sometimes you gotta know when to fight. Oh, so you're a fight for me now. Never said I wouldn't. Now, Bakugo, he actually just wants to look at her a bit more surprised. And Izumi, she doesn't even really realize what she just said. Before, she has to go somewhat look at Bakugo, surprised and curious as to why he is like that. Realizing what she might have just said. Oh, no worries, Izumi. I mean, I'd fight for you too. Well, that's nice. So, maybe we should head out soon, cause, well, take our food to go, cause whenever she comes to, she's gonna be a bit angry. Maybe. But, let's keep the party going, though. What do you mean? Well, I'm just saying. It's not oftentimes that we're able to go on missions and not feel stuffy inside the Foundation sites. Bakugo. Hey, I said it quite enough. Okay, fine, fine. I get it. Everyone's gonna be amnesticized anyways after this is all over, so who cares? Now, Bakugo and Izumi would take their food to go. And we actually will cut over to Izuku and Bakugo. Or, more accurately, Izuku. Izuku has been heading east for a bit of time now. And winter has set in. And we do actually have Izuku who he is sitting down at a campsite in the snow. He is cold, but he is able to stay warm. The fire is crackling. And all around him, it's hard to see. The creatures here in the woods, they are a lot more sneaky in the snow, but you can hear them better. Also, they know how to survive in the snow. This is their environment. He needs to hunker down and find a place to pass the snowstorm, or at least the winter, because otherwise he's gonna get killed, or at least hurt again. Now, Deku, he is sitting there, and he actually is cleaning some food, as he's going to put it directly into a pot that's hanging from something above the fire. And whenever he does so, he does at least smell it, before putting the cap back on, thinking about how if he doesn't keep that closed, anything around him might smell the food, and come running for it. Now, Izuku knows the smart thing he should have done is to stay in town. However, he's seen snow like this before. He knows it. It's just, well, it's not going to be easy to get through it. By the time the snow would pass, someone would already try and take a shot at him. So, looks like he's stuck in the forest. Alright. You know the rules, Izuku. You'll be alright. That made Deku just think. And we do actually have something nearby. It's stalking Deku from a distance. And it is actually a bit more curious. It picked up the scent of food whenever Deku, he was cutting into it and cleaning the food. It smelled the blood. And right now it is staring directly at the campfire. It's, well, shining. And it's curious. It knows there's food there. And there's something that can be eaten there. And there actually is Izuku. He is there. The creature, it wants to take a bite. It's hungry. Now, let's actually cut over to Bakugo, who, after she was taken care of by the people in the small village, she stayed there for a bit of time. She learned quite a lot, and she saw how they do perform things here to stay safe. They take careful measures. At night, your lights can be on. However, your blinds must be closed. And whenever you are outside at night, you have to be very careful. Don't answer the door at night, and if you hear anything strange, don't pay it any attention. Stay quiet. You can turn off your lights, but if they go out, be careful of anything. And make sure, if you need to, and you hear something strange, to hide. Now, there are also a few other rules, but that does at least talk about some of the more dangerous ones that do actually wander into town. Now, we'll actually cut over to her, who tonight, or, well, not tonight, but today, she actually did quite a bit of things. She helped take care of some of the horses, and she also helped put a few things up in a barn. Along with that, she also did watch a few people gather some more firewood and place it towards this large area in town, since it's a bit more of the warning siren. If you shout, the creatures could hear you. However, a well-placed arrow that's on fire, if it hits a structure that will shine through the night and everyone can see it, an actual beacon, it's a lot safer in the area. The creatures they'll pass through quickly. They won't linger. And people will know when it's safe to go outside. If the creatures they're not, well, the very aggressive ones, not the large ones. Now, Izumi, Bakugo, she actually does watch. A few people are running back and forth, and she does actually go to walk into a small little room. Her going to take a seat as she's going to bring her hands up onto her shoulders or onto her arms. Okay. Once winter passes, I need to get going. Right. They've taught me too much. So much. I feel bad for leaving, but maybe I should do it tonight. I mean, snow isn't that bad. It's been getting less and less. And pretty soon, the winter will end and the season will change. Okay. But maybe I should just stay and wait it out. It would be safer. None of these people know who I am. Maybe I could stay here and wait. I mean, this is the best condition I've been in a while. Should I really just try to run? That being what Bakugo should just think. And we do actually have back in the forest with Izuku, who he does actually cook his food and pull some out of the pot. Whenever he does so, he actually does start to hear something strange in the distance. As a tree in the distance, he does see the snow fall off of one of the branches. Him looking up and going to immediately reach for his gun, dropping the ladle in his hands. Now, he does look directly up and see a set of yellow eyes in the distance glowing. And he does watch him carefully. There is streaks of red across the creature. And Deku, he needs to be very careful here. He knows which one this is. Shit. Of course. It had to be one of these large bastards. Now, Deku, he does go to keep his hand on his gun. And with his other hand, he does go to drop his bowl and slowly move it closer towards his knife. And he does get ready, unlatching the top of it and pulling it out slightly. Him going to keep his hand directly down and moving it slowly, as his knife does actually start to dig into the snow. And the creature does step forwards. Deku, he knows how big it is from the distance. If you were to see one of these things, you wouldn't believe it. It's like you drew a wolf, but wrong. Its limbs are too long, and its body, it's too large. I mean, these things, they've got to at least stand, 10 foot tall before it hits their body? Their limbs at the very least. And the fur they're covered in. It's, definitely something strange. Now, Deku, he does just gonna sit there. Him making sure not to move a muscle. As the creature does make its way closer and closer. Before Deku, he can practically count the teeth on the creature. Before it does, Gojoki look down towards his campfire, and with its large paw, Gojoki stomped in and onto it. It actually hitting the pot, as it is going to pull back its large hand. It then going to look down, and with its large tongue, knock away some of the wood and ash that was next to the pot. Before the creature does, Gojoki grab onto it, and start trying to eat what's inside. And Deku, he does just watch. As once the creature is finished, Deku, he does stare at it. It's smaller than he imagined, though. I mean, these things, they've got to mess with your head or something. It looks bigger from a distance, but once they get close to you, they're large. Or they're still small, but they're bigger than any animal he's seen before. Okay. Just move on. Now, the creature actually is going to look directly up towards Deku. And Deku, he does just keep his composure, staying frozen, as his horse is freaking out. Now, Deku, he doesn't want to go to turn his eyes and look at his horse, which its reins have been pulled off of the branch Deku he planted in the ground to keep it there. And it does get Rookie pull and snap the branch as it does get to turn and bolt. And Deku, he does just silently think. As the creature, it does get Rookie turn and go to run after the horse. Deku immediately going to, with his other hand, bring his knife upwards and stab at Rookie in the back of its leg. And the creature, it does want to scream out in pain, as it's going to whirl around and attack Deku since he just stabbed it in its back right leg. Now, Deku, he actually is going to jump backwards, him actually jumping away and into the snow, as his knife is still embedded in its leg, and Deku, he has to bring up his revolver, him going to fire the shots into it as they echo loudly into the distance. Now, when that does actually happen, we do have where somebody in the nearby village, they hear that sound. They heard it faintly before hearing two more echo on, a few seconds later. And we actually will cut back over to Deku, who, the creature has its teeth firmly buried in Deku's right shoulder. And Deku, he's unloaded all 6 of the shots he can directly into the creature. The thing actually going to rip away a pound of flesh, as Deku, he actually kick his leg directly into its body. Whenever he does so, he actually has pushed it away with some difficulty. However, the creature, it actually has to go to back up before going to look at Deku, who does go to reach for his belt and grab his other revolver, him bringing it up and firing it directly into the creature's head. The bullets hitting it directly into the eye, as the creature, it does go rushing back towards him. And Deku, he does go to directly keep firing, as he's just trying to take out the eyes. If he can do that and stay quiet, then he can be safe. And the creature, it does rush forwards and bite directly into Deku's leg before picking him up and smashing him back into the ground. As it does that, Deku actually does feel the pain in his back. Before the creature, it does directly grab his leg as he's trying to reload. Deku fumbling with a few bullets as he does at least slide one into the cylinder, putting it in and firing off at the thing again. Before it does want to go to scurry backwards and tear more of his clothing. Before it does go to grab onto Deku's foot and pull. As it does swing and dislocate Deku's ankle, it smashes him directly into a tree. And Deku, he does just somewhat lay there, him trying to just breathe. And the creature, it does stare at Deku. It's moving forwards, and directly going to look directly down at him. As whenever it does so, Deku, he still has his hands close together, a handful of bullets clenched in his fist. And he actually is trying to move his middle finger to open the cylinder. Him doing so, as whenever he does open it, he is going to start sliding into bullets. Him at least going to move his finger and put in another one, as he actually does at least know that bullets might be able to do a little bit more. Since, well, the tip of it is very special. And Deku does continue to slide more bullets inside. As Marie does going to start pushing the cylinder back into the gun, the creature does hear the click. And Deku, he does go look directly up towards it. With his other hand, Dorky going to directly punch it upwards into the face. The creature doing so, as whenever it does try to reach up and grab for Deku, Deku puts the gun at the bottom of its chin and starts to pull the trigger. The creature, then the bullets cut upwards and into its, well, mouth. As whenever it does going to pull backwards and scurry away, Deku, he does look at the creature before he's going to watch it. It doesn't run, but it's clearly still waiting. And Deku, he does go to try and look for his rifle. The strap isn't on his chest. Fuck. Him looking around, he sees it just 5 feet away. However, his leg, his foot, and his back, he can't move that fast. Now, Deku, he does just sit there against the tree. The creature stares him down. As Deku, he does go to hold the gun, and the creature, it does just stare at Deku directly into its eye. As the creature gestures someone to make a scurrying motion, moving a bit to the right with its legs. And Deku just gonna follow it. The creature, it just watched Deku. Deku keeps a bead on it, not even for a second, letting the creature get a free moment away from the gun. The barrel is constantly pointed at that thing. And right now, Deku, he has some trouble. And he does get to bring up his other hand. He does bring up his left hand, and the creature does try to scurry forwards. Deku switching as he's going to let his right hand drop down. And with his left finger, or his left hand, squeezing the trigger and shooting the creature directly into the face with a special bullet. And the creature, it is hitting its other eye. As Deku, he does fire off the next two shots, and they hit their target. Now, the creature does somewhat whine out in pain. And Deku, he does actually try to at least aim a bit more towards the head, firing again. And this time he actually watches blood does pour from the creature's skull. It's stumbling to the right, before trying to put its left set of paws down and onto the ground. As Deku watches it just lose strength. And he does watch it just fall. And he does just sit there, just trying to catch his breath. He's in a lot of pain. And he's starting to get cold. Really cold. Now, Deku, he just gonna drop the gun, trying to lean forwards and reach down towards his ankle. He's fairly certain that it's just dislocated. However, he needs to make sure. If he can at least drag his way on one leg, he should be able to get somewhere close by. At least somewhere nearby. He was gonna pass by that town earlier. He heard from some people that those who live there, they're odd people. However, they're a bit more out of his way. I mean, granted, the stopping there might do him some good, get him some information, but he needs to keep going east. If he doesn't keep heading that way, he may not run into Bakugo. Now, Deku, he actually does look towards the creature. As it is dead, and he does get a look directly back over towards his shoulder, bringing his hand up and finding a massive tooth stuck inside of his right shoulder. And he does just get to keep that inside. It hurts a lot. That thing, it's fucked him up pretty badly. Now, Deku, with his good hand, he does try to roll over. Him, with his left hand, pulling down into the snow. His fingers getting wet and cold whenever he does so. As he's going to move himself forwards and just start crawling. Now, with that being said, we actually have in the nearby village, which heard all that commotion. They were pretty sure there was a firefight and bandits in the distance. And right now some people, they are saddling up to try and find out what that was. I mean, they've got to hurry. The sun's going to go down soon. And if they can't get out there and find out the source of that, then more than likely they might get stuck in the forest. And, well, that is something they can do, go out at night in the forest. They need to make sure they at least don't run into one of the bad creatures. And they do go to get out. And right now, we actually have about 20 minutes later, where the men, they do actually find a campsite. They're a bit concerned. They rode in for 20 minutes in one direction. And whenever they saw some smoke up in the air still somewhat burning, they headed that way thinking that that may be it. And they found the large creature dead. I mean, it's insane. This thing, it's dead. Now, we do actually have where Amanda's going to pull a knife out of its back leg. Him doing so and seeing the material it's made out of. Oh, that'll do it. Silver? Silver. Right. But look at all that blood. This thing tore him apart. I don't know. But look at that. The guy pointing at the tree. There's a bunch of blood just seeping into the wood and into the snow. However, there's a trail of it leading off. And right now, it heads pretty far. The men, they're not too sure how far it does lead. But right now, it is a clue. Because whatever that might be, it certainly doesn't look good. Now, we do actually have over Deku, who, he is very cold. He can't feel his fingers. He stopped feeling them minutes ago. And right now, he's just dragging his way through the snow. Him trying to use his right arm, but feeling the searing pain inside of it. And trying to use his good leg. He feels it burn. He feels it just hurts. But he has to keep going. If he doesn't, then he's going to die. The creatures will come out at night. They'll rip him apart. And, well, he'd rather not have that. He has his gun, and if he does need to, he does still at least have another bullet. Now, we do actually have in front of Deku. He sees somebody just standing there. They walk backwards in the snow. And they're just staring at him. He's got to be losing his mind. There are no prints in the snow. But that man, the man in the red suit, he just sits there, watching him. Now, Deku, he does look up at the man, and he does ask him, what does he want? And the man does just look at him. Before, he does go to look directly up and vanish. As he does hear somebody. He hears them vaguely. Behind him, he hears a stomping in the snow. And he does actually someone go to try and turn. Before, somebody does go to bend down and ask him if he's okay. And Deku, he does go to directly stare at them. He's trying to read their lips, but he can't hear the words. He can't hear the words. Now, the man is going to grab Deku. And whenever they do go to pull Deku to his feet, he doesn't want wince in pain and doesn't let out a scream. As the men, they do get Deku put on a horse and taken back to the village. Because he's pretty banged up. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.